Hello and welcome to Oxygen Not Included. Oxygen Not Included is a very fond game of mine, and I've put a lot of hours into it, and I was wanting to start a Let's Play series of it. We're going to be doing the Spaced Out DLC. Not going to do a normal game this time around, just because Spaced Out is, in my opinion, gives the game a lot more spice and adds a lot more to it. In the future, I may do a normal Let's Play. We're going to do normal Spaced Out and not Classic. The only difference is Classic, you start with one big asteroid, much like how you normally play the game, and then you can go to other asteroids from there. But this one's a bit more challenging, and so it's more fun in my opinion. We are going to start with the normal default asteroid, and we're going to try to get some good re-rolls for our secondary asteroids, the Irradiated Forest and the Oily Swamp. Alrighty, I did some refreshes and ended up getting these coordinates, which has a surprising amount of metal-rich and metallic caves for not just my starter asteroids, but other asteroids as well. And the Regolith asteroid actually has Frozen Friend, which I wouldn't really want to wake anyone up on the Regolith asteroid, as it is a barren wasteland. So we're going to start our game here. So for starting duplicates, what you're going to want to look for is at least what I like to do is two dedicated digging people and one dedicated scientist. Now, I always like to have a stinky to start off with, mainly just because I can never seem to get one to spawn in the printing pod throughout the game. So what you're going to want to be looking for, or at least what I like to do, is big in one category for your starter 3 duplicates, just so they are very good at their job and you can get excavation and construction right out of the way. So for your 2 starter diggers, you can either have them be really good at excavation or something like this, where it's excavation and construction. Excavation and anything else, not that good. But since these 2 are going to be dedicated on digging out area and building up the structure of our kind of starter colony, having excavation and construction for both these could work. So right here, this is already a pretty good start. Bubbles here. So I think I'm going to work on Amari here. And for Turner, you pretty much just want to have the biggest researching amount you can get. So I'm going to do some rerolls and see what we get. Alrighty, so this is what we've ended up with. We have a Stinky with +8 excavation. He's very handy, so he has increased construction and decreased bathroom speed. It just means that when he uses the bathroom, it's going to take a little bit longer, which is not that big of a deal, especially once you start getting individual bedrooms with their own individual bathrooms. Then it doesn't really affect anything. Or if you just have one really big public bathroom, it won't really hurt. We got Bubbles here, the one at the beginning with +4 excavation, +4 construction. Caregiver is not that big a deal. Medicine's not that needed. And Unpracticed Artist isn't a big deal because you only want people to do art who are like +8 or +12 in art only. We have Ren over here, who's our researcher. He's got +12 in science, which is really, really good, but he is narcoleptic. Out of all the big kind of downsides to take, narcoleptic can end poorly if your duplicate's in situations where they like fall asleep in lava or something. And I don't really view Ren leaving the base very often, so I think he should be fine. So let's get our name. Friends. It is short, it is simple, and I like it. Alert! The asteroid we call home collided with an anonymous planet, decimating our colony. Rebuilding it is the utmost importance. I've detected a new cluster of material-rich planetoids in a nearby asteroid. If I can guide the duplicates through the perils of space travel, we could build a colony even bigger and better than before. was not a good reading, but it works. Alright, so first of all, we're going to pause the game. And we're going to come up here and look in priorities. Priorities basically tell your duplicants what jobs they should focus on and which they shouldn't. Right off the bat, decorating, I set it to disallowed for every duplicant. For new duplicants, that is, until you get a dedicated artist. Rin, he should focus on researching, and Stinky and Bubbles can focus on digging and building. I never go high priority, because that can cause issues, especially early on. If you put high priority, then, for example, Stinky and Bubbles will focus on building the base rather than, you know, filling up the life support system, for example. So keeping low priority is a pretty good choice. Next, you want to look at your schedule. Early on in the game, when your duplicates aren't traveling around, you can pretty much get away with 2 hours of sleep and 2 hours of downtime, just like this. Alright, and with that, you can get started. So, for day 1, we're going to want to try to get a bathroom set up as soon as possible. And to do that, we're going to need access to water. And it looks like our only sources of water are here and here. So I think first things first is we're gonna just dig straight down. And I think we're gonna put our bathroom around here. Or should we put it over here? We'll put the bathroom right here so they don't have to take a long trip to deliver water to the bathroom. So let's dig this out, and we're going to increase the speed up a little bit, and then we're going to also dig down right there. Alright, and then they're going to go ahead and get started on that. So we're going to want to build a bathroom. There's 3 duplicates, so 2 bathrooms tend to do well. I have a mod installed which has duplicates stop and wait their turn to wash their hands. However, normally they don't do that. So it's always best to have an equal number of sinks as you do bathrooms. So if you only had 1 sink and 2 people were using the bathroom, one would come out before the other, start washing his hands, and when the other one finishes using the restroom, you'll see that the sink is busy and you just walk right past it. Which is obviously not good, because then they'll be covered in food poisoning germs, gets into your food supply, people start getting sick, it's annoying. Obviously I have a mod that counteracts that, but for purposes of teaching, it's always good to just have, like I said, equal number of sinks to bathrooms. Alright, so down here we're going to want to put a pitcher pump so we can start drawing water from our new well we have down here. Bring this ladder all the way down so we can get the stuff down there. Alright, and then another thing we're going to want to do real quick is get some beds put in. So I'm going to go down here into furniture, and we are going to put in some beds. Now we don't want to put them too close to the printing pod because the light will keep them awake. Oh, okay, I thought Ren was about to get himself trapped. Nice. Alrighty, so we already have 3 beds installed, got our bathroom installed, pitcher pump is put in, and we have our ration box. Should be holding all edibles at a priority of 6. Alrighty, so we already have a pretty good start here, and our next goal is to take just a quick look around our starting location. So if you look temperature-wise, all this green area right here is kind of your safe zone. This biome with the sandstone and sand copper, you're usually going to find clean oxygen, good temperatures, etc. Once you start exiting, you're going to hit other biomes, such as the chlorine and hydrogen biome, and the swampy biome with the slime that is infested with slime lung germs and polluted oxygen, etc., etc., right? We have a bit of salt water up here, and it looks like we're going to have a cold biome. Yep, a cold biome up here. So we don't have a whole lot of room for expansion. It looks like we can do a bit more south, and we can go up here to the right a bit for early game expansion. Eventually you can build insulated tile walls around your base and kind of isolate it away from the rest of the world, and then once you do that, you can just hollow out the entire asteroid without any repercussions. So, first things first, we should get our research station down. The research station will allow us to begin learning the ability to craft future kind of items and buildings and such. So we're going to dig out a little bit of this downstairs area. And we are going to put in some power production. Something like this. Oh. Out of copper. So, our first night has begun. People are going to be using the restroom, eating, and then hopefully going to sleep. Alright, so for power, the way it works is you have green and white. Green are things that produce power, such as generators. White can be either battery or a building that requires power. So for right now, what we're going to do is just take this up our ladder, go up, and connect it to our research station, just like that. And we are going to build 2 batteries, I think, is a good idea. So once they get all these wires hooked up, someone will run on the generator and start, yep, just like that, and start filling up this battery so we can use our research station. Now you don't, the reason why you want batteries is, of course, if you don't have a battery, you have to have someone constantly running on the wheel just for someone to use the buildings. But if you have batteries, obviously they run to fill up the battery, and then you can, you know, go in and use the buildings whenever. So now that we have the research station, we can now look at our research. This is what allows you to eventually get future buildings and stuff like that. First one I like to do is meal preparation. That's basic farming and meal preparation. Since we only have the research station, we can only do things that have the little blue research node. Things that have the purple research node we'll need the supercomputer for. And we won't get that until we do advanced research, which will be next on the list. So, yep, there we go. We got Ren doing some studying. Absolutely killing it. Not only because he has plus 12 in research, but because of the light generated by our printing pod, he gets the buff Lit Workspace, which allows him to do it 15% faster. So what we're going to do is put in some new floors and dig out this area just a little bit more and do some research. So one problem that I've noticed is even though we have a really small base, they're having a bit of issue, especially Stinky, who takes longer to go to the restroom, to actually eat their meal before they go to sleep. So because of that, I've just added an extra hour of downtime, which should give them more time to go eat, go to the restroom before they're able, before they're forced to go to bed. Alright, so our research is now complete. So we now have learned how to make we can now build the ration box, algae terrariums, compost bins, farms, the grill, and some mess tables, as well as some other items. But those are kind of the big ones. The first thing we're going to want to do is focus on building a farm. Getting one up and running early on is a very good goal to have. Now, if you're starting off in the same place that I have, the same starting asteroid, you're most likely going to have mealwood as your starting food. Mealwood, the way it works, is you need about 5 mealwood per duplicate. So if you have 3 duplicates, you're going to need 15 mealwood farms to make the equal amount of food that they're eating per day. Of course, you don't want to break just even, you want to do slightly more. So when I have 3 duplicates, I tend to get 17 farms set up as soon as possible. So what you can do is you want to keep your floors about 4 tiles high, but for the one that has food, all you need is 2 spaces. So right there, we're going to have about 16 tiles for food. We can deconstruct this floor. And then that'll put us at 17 right there. The next thing to research is advanced research right here. So you can get your supercomputer. And we have our first printable available. So you come down here, click choose blueprint, and now you can pick a duplicate to add to your colony, or you could just take a item care package. So let's take a look. We're looking for, so we have supplying and farming. That's pretty good, but he has decreased agriculture. So he has +5, -3. So this would be a really good duplicate if he didn't have the plant murder. +2 science, excavation, piloting, animal lover, green thumb. So this person has good agriculture and good husbandry. Decreased cuisine though, which kind of stinks because it'd be good for them to be a farmer and cook this early on. So let's take a look over here. So this person has +1 agriculture and critter ranching. Good machinery. Not terrible, but I think we could start just a little bit longer without another duplicate and hope for a better option. Alrighty, so now our farm plots are now done, so we can plant our mealwood seeds. So what I like to do is set them to priority 6, click plant, then click copy settings, just drag it to all the other tiles. And as you get more mealwood seeds, they'll slowly start filling all these out and taking care of them. Also, our first bit of research is done, so we should now be working on advanced. So, your next thing is oxygen, right? So if you look here, in your game, it's going to be reds and blues to represent how breathable the air is, right? I have a mod called GasOverlay mod, which allows me to like view gases with different colors. It's a really, really good mod, and it doesn't make the game any easier or anything. It's just quality of life, and it looks nicer in my opinion. So if you see, however, right, we're starting to get low on oxygen. We were able to coast by because of things like, where's an example? Right here, like the oxalite that was in here originally. But we're going to have to create an oxygen diffuser to make up for it. Now, an oxygen diffuser uses algae to produce enough oxygen for up to 5 duplicates. So what I suggest you do is go over here to resources, see all, type in algae, and just check that. So you can see how much algae you have at all times while you're using it for oxygen. So as you can see, we're now going to be producing some more oxygen around here, kind of filling up our area and pushing the carbon dioxide down below and keeping it out of the way. And speaking of the carbon dioxide, our ration box here has food in it. And luckily it's food that's non-perishable, such as nutrient bars and muckroot. But if we get things like meat and eventually our mealwood, they'll start to perish, they'll start to go bad. And to have your food go bad slower, to decrease the speed in which they go bad, you can do certain things, such as making them really cold and putting them into a sterile atmosphere. Now, oxygen is not a sterile atmosphere. A lot of things live in oxygen. However, carbon dioxide is a sterile atmosphere. So early in the game, it's a pretty good idea to just dig out a small little area deep or at a low point in your base and rebuilding a ration box down here. You just come up here, copy settings, and then you can deconstruct this one. And once we deconstruct that, we can build our supercomputer. Also right next to the printing pod for the free light. Nice. Alrighty. So, now we have a pretty good start set up here. Your next bet is to just do some expansion, right? Try to get some more area carved out for your duplicates and to expand your base. Also, you always want to have research going. There's no reason for you not to have research going. So we still can't have anyone use the supercomputer yet because Rin here does not have the advanced researching skill. People get skill points by just your duplicates just going around and doing things, right? Them working gives them skill points, and eventually we'll see they'll be able to acquire new skills. But for right now, I think what we're going to research is thinking power. Yeah, we're going to get some bigger batteries and some coal generators. So, you don't want to expand your base too big too quickly, because it'll be a lot harder for your single oxygen diffuser to fill the area up with oxygen, right? But what I've noticed is up here we have a bunch of free mealwood and other food that can be harvested for free, right? Because they're growing in the wild. All you have to do is just come down here for the harvest plants, and then you just drag over them, and once they turn green, your duplicates will harvest them when they're ready to be harvested. So what we're going to do is, when we get up there, we're going to build a door, and we're going to trap that little shine bug in there, which he'll shine light on the bristle blossoms every now and then, let them grow, and we'll have a bunch of mealwood also growing. It also means we can turn this nice area into a little nature reserve for the time being until we eventually, absolutely destroy it for more modern stuff. So we've finished researching our power, and the next thing we can research, since we can still only use the starting one, is going to be way down here, and we're going to want to do smart home and interior decor. Or we don't really have any reason for automation just yet. So interior decor and artistic expression. This will help in eventually making what is called a Great Hall. So soon, we're almost there for our duplicates to get their first skill points. And when they do, we can see on how that works. Alrighty, so now all three of our duplicates have a single skill point, emphasized by the one green. So we're going to start off with Bubbles here. Bubbles should probably get some hard digging. Put on the hard digging hat. Now, the hearts means that's something that the duplicate likes to do. And so every time you pick up a skill that they like, it increases their morale. So morale and morale needed is, they get morale by different things throughout the game, right? So for example, Bubbles here is getting morale because she has a 3-shift break. She gets 2 morale from that. She gets 1 morale from just simply existing as a duplicate, and she gets 1 morale because she has the interested skills learned. And she needs 1 morale to stay happy. Now, if your red morale needed is higher than the morale they have, they'll start to get stressed. And when duplicates get stressed, they have an overstress reaction when they get to around 100%, where they'll start doing really bad things, whether it be throwing up, crying, or, destroying things. So it's really good to make sure you keep the green over the red. So we're going to have Bubbles do hard digging. Rin, obviously, is going to go into advanced research. And Stinky is also going to do some hard digging. So with that, they should all come down here. And they should get themselves a nice blast of radiation into the brain and fun hats. Alrighty, so that's going to be it for this episode. We got a lot done in the beginning part of the game. This is the first 6 cycles. Obviously, you can be a little slower, a little quicker, but this is about where you want to be at this point in the game. Next episode, we're going to start working on more advanced research, and we're going to start working on building the kind of frame and setup of a larger base. I hope to see y'all in future videos, and I hope you all have a nice day.